Jamal and Kim's Inner Circle Health Tribe, episode 24.
It's time to reverse the imbalances in your life as you take the first step on your own journey towards personal change. Welcome to Jamal and Kim's Inner Circle Health Tribe, educating, empowering, and inspiring individuals to live healthier. Now here are your hosts and your guides to natural living, Jamal and Kim.
Hi, Kim and Jamal here, and welcome to another episode of Jamal and Kim's Inner Circle Health Tribe podcast. This is episode 24, where Jamal and I will be recapping episode 23, which was our episode we released Monday featuring Omowale, Adewale. And the name of that podcast was called Let Food Be Your Medicine, GMOs, Agricultural Globalism, and MMA Fighting. And that was a great show. I love listening to it again. And there was so many powerful topics to discuss. And we want to thank Omowale for joining us definitely on that show. And like I said, I'm Kim and I'm joined with Jamal.
Greetings, everyone.
And
peace and blessings.
Yes. And we like to, as I said, mentioned earlier on Wednesdays, recap the episode of the week. And there were many takeaways from that episode. And the first one I'll start with is the beginning of the first part of the title, Let Food Be Your Medicine. And what stands out to me from the episode with Omowale was his journey from, pretty much eating a poor diet and eating a more of a plant-based diet and feeling the healing effects and the rejuvenating effects of his body. And it kind of brought back some memories from me because before I moved to New Jersey, I lived in the Bronx until I was 8 years old. And a lot of the things that Omowale was mentioning, the quarter waters and the Boston baked beans and, anyone that grew up in any type of inner city during, I would say like the 80s, during that, I think it was like around the 80s. You remember like the penny candies and the bazooka gum. I mean, it just brought back memories. I mean, I don't eat that stuff today, but it was definitely a time in my life when I did eat those things when we were younger. And Omowale was just touching on how he used to eat that. And then he converted to a plant-based diet, and it wasn't perfect. He was kind of eating beans and certain things, but he was still consuming foods that may not have been the most cleanest. And he kind of suffered from an imbalance of having high blood pressure. And it made him reflect on the connection of the foods that you eat in your health and how eating a clean plant-based diet or eating a clean diet, how that can have such healing effects on your body. So that was one of the things that kind of stood out for me.
Yeah, you know what? Just to jump back a bit, this is kind of off topic, going back to the quarter waters. The penny candies and the Boston baked beans and all that stuff. I think the Boston baked beans was like 5 or 10 cents.
Yeah, it was like the little mini box and the lemon heads.
And the lemon heads. I ate all that stuff too, the fun sticks.
Jingles.
Yeah. So here's an interesting question, right? So the quarter water, I don't know if they still make it, but is it still a quarter?
I doubt it.
Because we had some super inflation going on as far as, the U.S. dollar weakening. So I'm curious as to how much.
I could see it being like a $1.
Water.
It's probably $1.
Would you pay $1 for that?
For sugar water with some.
For that little container.
Sugar water with some chemical dye. No, I'm so sorry. I'll make my own with like fruit juice.
Yeah,
oh my gosh.
I don't know if everybody can relate. I know a lot of people can, but yeah, this is just how it was, growing up in the hood. Now it was a really good show. I really enjoyed it. I mean, show after show, for a while now, we've been crushing, the myths about plant-based eating and, how you can actually take your health to the next level. You can physically take your health to the next level. You can put on muscle and improve your vitality and things like that. I mean, we constantly shatter that myth. And, he just went ahead and did the same thing again, as usual, as a mixed martial artist and, getting in the ring and fighting people that they eat a non-plant-based diet, a meat-based diet, and he's crushing them in the ring, head to head, toe to toe. So that's something that we always do. What I really appreciated about this show was just getting behind the food, looking at it from a global perspective,
right?
And the impact that food and the production of food, the type of impact that it's having on the environment, and just bringing to the attention of the major corporations and just their quest for money and greed, and just the impact that that's having across the planet. Like, to me, that was the standout, just bringing bringing that level of awareness to our listeners.
Yeah, that was pretty shocking and sad. The statistic when he was mentioning like 250,000 farmers, commit suicide because they can no longer afford to buy the GMO seeds from some of the biotech firms. I mean, I thought that was just horrible.
Yeah, it's like these corporations, they're trying to, across the board, in agriculture and so many other businesses, they're trying to corner the board, and they're trying to push the mom and pop businesses out, the smaller businesses out, and they're just trying to pretty much have world domination in their particular areas, and they don't have the same level of care in the work that they do, and it suffers, and we suffer for it because they're just thinking about the dollar. So I appreciate that conversation, because for the first time, we looked at a plant-based diet differently, as far as our viewers are concerned, and what we presented to them, because a lot of times we're looking at it from a health perspective, but just from an environmental perspective, it's tremendous. Tremendous. I was just looking at some numbers today, just in regards to the water, and basically the statistics I was looking at, it was called the thirst, or the thirsty industry, and it's saying that nearly half of all of the water used in the United States goes to raising animals for food.
Wow.
It's saying that it takes more than 2,400 gallons of water to produce 1 pound of meat. 2,400 gallons of water to produce 1 pound of meat.
Wow.
And that verse wheat, for example, 25 gallons of water to produce 1 pound of wheat. So that's a lot of water. Yeah. You know what I mean? And I don't know if y'all know what's going on in California right now, but they have a serious water crisis right now. They have a water crisis going on. The water's drying up. And they're saying that, eventually all of the water is going to dry up, and they're going to, be faced with a serious problem if some things aren't done. There's a water crisis going on in Flint, Michigan right now, as far as just the water being toxic, so, water right now is a problem, and so much water goes to producing meat. So, just by everyone making a decision to not even necessarily go vegan, just to say, we're going to have a meatless Monday, once a week, we're all going to go on a plant-based diet, or twice a week, or you just eat more plant-based, not necessarily vegan, but, the majority of your food is vegetation, and your animal products are less. That's going to have a significant impact on the environment for the better, So that was the first time that we really got a chance to expose that. And that was powerful. That was powerful to be able to introduce that to our listeners.
Definitely. Also, just bringing awareness in terms of eating more plant-based, because you and I are not big on titles and saying, oh, I'm vegan. We always say we eat a plant-based diet because it's really about the lifestyle and not about the title and living it. And, you know, I think just listening to Omowale's podcast, how could you not be motivated to at least incorporate more whole foods, more plant-based foods into your diet, just for the healing or the beneficial effects, and not so much of just saying, oh, I'm vegetarian or I'm vegan. One other standout or takeaway from the episode was, you know, going back to what you were talking about with the MMA fighting. You know, I watched some of it. I know it's a very intense and brutal sport. And one of my takeaways, and I did ask Omowale during the podcast, you know, when he, you know, eating a plant-based diet, I know for me personally, transitioning into a plant-based diet, I was very aggressive when I was younger. I played a lot of sports, a lot of competitive contact sports. I played basketball. I played, you know, power forward. I've played center at times, you know, at the D3 level in college. And, you know, it took a certain type of aggression and competitiveness, especially at the collegiate level. And I noticed that when I converted to a plant-based diet later on after I graduated from college, I still have a competitive fire, but it was like the certain edge I felt was lost. Like I still can be competitive. I could still get at someone in a sense. But, you know, I did notice a difference. Like I'm not an aggressive person. I can tap into an aggressive energy and do what I have to do. But it's not something that...
It's not the same.
Right. It's not the same. And I couldn't even imagine being an MMA fighter at a professional level, you know, going into that ring, you know, as he was saying, he's more compassionate. And it is difficult, he was saying. Like he does have to, you know, tap into a certain energy, and it is different going in as a plant-based, you know, eating a plant-based diet because you're more compassionate. And in MMA fighting, like you're going in with the mindset of I have to put this person down. Like I have to get them to tap out
by any means.
Right.
By any means.
And, you know, so I thought that was great for, you know, and he was honest about it. He said, I have to be honest, you know, that it does take its toll in the sense that he has to put more into that thought process to get him ready for a match.
Yeah, no, that was huge for me too. I definitely understand that, but just getting that fighting perspective, you know, I take martial arts, African martial arts, and, you know, we spar and we fight, but, you know, we're not intentionally trying to hurt each other. And we're not, you know, trying to, you know, get someone to tap out, or we're not trying to knock each other out. But when you really think about just, you know, to put yourself in that zone to, you know, have to be like, I'm going to go out there and I'm going to rip this person's head off. I'm going to, you know, try to hurt this person. It just was a different light, you know, how he was talking about how, you know, a lot of times we see boxers and competitors go out and they don't want to shake hands. Right. They don't want to look and they want to be nasty. It's because you have to tap into something because that's your competitor.
Right.
And you get it now. I remember the MMA fighter that recently lost for the women's class, Ronda. Mm-hmm. You know, everyone got on her because when she would come out, you know, she wouldn't shake hands. You know, they would put their hands on her and she would slap it away, and she would just be like angry out there. And everyone got on her saying that she was a, you know, poor sportsmanships and things of that nature. But now you look at it,
understand.
Yeah, you understand differently. Like you going out there, Rosie, shaking hands, and now you gotta go
shake hands, and then you gotta like punch somebody's face.
Right. Yeah. You have to tap into something different.
Yeah. Cause he said he almost got an elbow dislocated. I was just like, my goodness.
And then you're in the ring and you're going all out. You're not thinking like, oh no, that this person has had enough. Like you've snapped.
Right.
So when we hear about these different situations and fights and people go all out to and end up killing someone,
right.
It's not justifiable, but there's a switch that goes off that, sometimes you just literally lose control. Like you are out of your mind. Yeah. You're out of your mind and someone has to snap you back. And that's what the ref is there to do. To bring you back. Yeah. So, that's a whole another level of consciousness.
Right.
And like you said, I definitely noticed a difference, being more plant-based as far as just that heightened level of aggression, like we can definitely tap into.
But you have to work.
Yeah, you got to work. We could tap into beast mode,
right.
Because we do it every day. We transform that energy toward our business and, the different things that we do to take our lives to the next level. But that competitive, beast mode, like you really have to, work harder to get there. Yeah. You gotta work harder to get in. So I definitely understood where it was coming from.
Right. And I also want to say congratulations to Omowale. He shared with us that he won his first match of the year. Yeah. So congratulations.
Yeah, that was, that's great. Yeah. Congratulations, my brother. And the last thing that I want to touch on is something that he spoke about, just being conscious of what's going on with your food before it gets on your plate.
Right.
And that's on so many different levels. One is, where's your food coming from? Like, did it have to travel, from a local farm to get to your plate? Did it have to travel from another state? Did it have to travel from another country? Right. To get on your plate, all the way down to, he was talking about eating out, who's handling your food? Right. The best way to have control over it is to make as much of your food as possible. Homemade cooking, not from a box, whole foods that you have control over the ingredients that's going into your food. Like that's the best way to have control over your food. One thing that we've been talking a lot about during our podcast series is energy, talking about just energy and this whole concept of energy. And you can actually put energy inside of food. You can put positive energy inside of food. You can put negative energy inside of your foods. One of the things with animals is that when they're killed under very stressful situations, they have a lot of documentaries on this, a lot of corporation farms, the animals are killed under severe stress, and these stress hormones are released into the muscles of these animals, and you take on that stress hormone, you take on that particular energy.
That's where that aggression comes from.
Yeah, that's where the aggression comes from. And, we can transfer energy into our foods, whether it's love. You're preparing a meal out of love for a loved one, and it has a positive effect. Or you can be angry, and you could prepare food, and you can be angry, and you can transfer that angry energy into food. These are next level concepts, but it actually happens. So you don't know when you're eating out at a restaurant, you don't know the mood of the chef. You don't know what's going on in there. I'll share a story with you. We went down to Florida for some training, for some business training, and we were out with family, and we went to a restaurant. And was it during the holiday? It was crazy. Crazy that time of year. was it in November? Mm-hmm. Wasn't it for it was in November. So yeah, it was during the holiday time. So it was crazy. And, the waiters were all over the place. Our food, was just late coming out. And, our family, they really raved about this restaurant and how good it was and how great the service was. So, they were kind of embarrassed, and the waiters felt the pressure, and the managers coming over, and the managers putting the pressure on the staff and on the chef to get the food done. So it was just a very tense and stressful environment that was going on in there. And they brought our food out, and the food was good, but what happened was, we ended up getting sick. Mm-hmm. We ended up getting sick. And, after further assessing the situation, we didn't get sick because of, some type of cross contamination. We didn't get sick because, someone might not have washed their hands or something like that. We got sick because of the energy transference. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? It was just this sick feeling. It wasn't, because I've had food poisoning before, and it was, I wouldn't wish that.
I think we've had it twice when we've been together, and that's like 13 years.
Yeah, I wouldn't wish that on anyone. I'm
knocking on wood. I never.
Yeah, I wouldn't wish that on anyone. So it wasn't food poisoning. It was something else. This was
energetic.
Yeah, this was an energetic transference. Like, I got it. My daughter got it. My wife felt it a little bit. Like, we was just off. We just totally off. Mm-hmm. And then after we spoke about it and just thought about, like, wait a minute, it was crazy up in there.
Yeah, and you felt the tension. You felt like our waiter was just on pins and needles. I think he apologized like 5 times. Yeah. So the people making the food was getting it.
Right, yeah.
And it was just like nervous energy, stress, just, it all bottled up. Right. And then they just served it to us.
Yeah. And we don't think about that. We eat something, we don't feel well, and we don't even think about the possibility that it was some type of energy transference, as opposed to just something being wrong with the food, or, I just got a bug. You could have got an energetic bug. So that's just looking at, food and how we can charge our food with positive or negative energy, mm-hmm. And how it affects your body. I mean, and then on the flip side, you can charge your food with positive energy. You can take a bottle and you can fill it with, your water bottle, and you can write a nice symbol on it, and write love on your bottle. And that's the bottle that you drink water from. And they've done studies on this. The love bottle, or your positive affirmation that you write on that particular bottle, it can have a positive effect on you. Mm-hmm. I think I'm trying to think of the study. It was like a plant, and it was the water. They would always like say negative things to the water, and they wrote like hate on the water. And then they had one that it was all positive: love, peace, balance, harmony. They wrote these things on that water, and they would speak that to the water, mm-hmm. like pray over the water. And it was these 2 plants, and they were watering both of the plants, and the plant that has the positive vibe, like, it actually grew and continued to grow, and the one with the negative energy, it actually kind of wilted and died.
Wow.
Which was like an amazing story. And I've seen quite a bit of studies on that level. So you can definitely charge your food with positive and negative energy. So, one, you can use that for your advantage. You should charge your food with positive energy and your water with positive energy. But on the flip side, we have to be aware that, our food can be charged negatively.
Right.
You know, so we need to be conscious of the mood that we're in when we're making food for someone, you know.
Really. And don't piss off the person in the kitchen.
Right.
When you go out to eat.
You know, because, you know, them, you know, tampering with your food, maybe they wouldn't take it that far, but maybe they're just angry with you in
or
their mind.
Thinking those
just
thoughts.
Thinking it. Yeah.
Right.
And they put that into the food, and they might as well have, you know, spit in your food or something like that. So, that opened up the door for that. Just wanted to put that out there. The power of, you know, how we can charge our foods and how it can affect you. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, I guess that's about it. Do you have any more takeaways?
No, that's it for me.
Okay, so before we go, I just want to remind everyone, if you did not get a chance to listen to the episode Omowale, episode 23, just go to jkhealthtribe.com/23 and you can get access to that episode. Okay, so until next time, live healthier.
Peace and blessings. Stay healthy.
We hope you enjoyed your time with Jamal and Kim's Inner Circle Health Tribe. To keep you on your path towards a happy, healthier lifestyle, we encourage you to visit jkhealthtribe.com for a free copy of the 8 effective ways to lose weight and keep it off, as well as more content to help you find your health balance. Thanks again, and we look forward to educating, empowering, and inspiring you to live healthier.